under the wings of Professor Dr.Kanyeihamba, continue to prosper and excel in your new journey as a lawyer and author. May you author so many beautiful books and remain faithful custodian with the values of justice, lifelong students of wisdom, courageous defenders of truth, and generous mentors to those who follow us should define our legacy. Thank you very much for listening to me. I think this is the first panel presentation I've had with Major where I am not preached him because I believe he's preached. When Yvonne Pambara is not here, Honorable Miriam Atembe is not here, and they are all absent for the same reason. And I'm also looking around my shoulders to see who is sitting next to me and which mischief they are about to commit. Major which will tell us why he remains a major. After the distinguished service, after the academic accolades that I know, by the way, we're in school together. Although I am not this guy, he is a major. I want to celebrate him. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Once an honorable raise one. And I love when you talk about the fact that positions fade, but legacy lives forevermore, the transformation. And I also believe and know that the work that you've done in Parliament will live far beyond you. Let me come to Major Awich. Professor was part of NRM's early intellectual core, and of course he was part of those that helped shape our constitution as it is. As you give your memories and memoirs of him, I'd also like to know from you, what part of the late professor's constitutional vision do you think Uganda has actually realized, but also what part remains unfinished? That would
our moderator, I'd like to stand by the protocol well elaborated by my learned colleague here, because in the list of protocol there are others which are Uganda specific that I will not bring it out as clearly as. So I will stand by the protocol that he has said and save time. Only that I will make an addition on Mrs. Katogaya by saying that Katogaya went to the great school I went to. That is the Great Military School. And that binds us a lot because when he was chairman of our All Boys, I was the one running around whenever we would be inviting people. And he was so principled that at one time he asked me to draft not talking very friendly about the movement. Servitude was one of them, and it was done. So the guy looked at the list. It was in this post. He looked at the list and told me, I do writing and that always. Go and write it. He told me, go and look for servitude and he done it in Kampala. Go and tell them. Not, and then I want all this. And that is how I was also like, after Professor I also became and for 2 terms. Now, and into will be in the book and about what he mentions about the time. So put it that way. But I like to say that book and reading itself is listening to something. It's like you're sitting here and listening to the author for 2-3 days. And that is a discipline when you read. But it's also a discipline on the author, because in the book, before you read, before you wrote, you also read many other books. And that is seen in the references that you made. It means, therefore, while I was disciplined to listen to you for 3 days, you talking to me in your book. But I'm also you are also disciplined to address others, which you don't do. Keep on reading. So I thank you for that. But also realize I got to make the other know that the book is a living book. And that is why even in our cherished mustard seed, we have now the third edition. So you will also make a third edition because the book is a living document. For example, if you are going to make your third edition, try to think. I like the author to try to think whether Kirgizi is a district or not. To my understanding, Kirgizi is inside Kanun. But also, you want to, I like to appreciate that in your book you expose, you gave a lot of exposure to challenges in primary school. I was actually saying, oh my God, Sabiu is one of the best, but the challenges that you expose, maybe it would make PTA and Board of Governors draw nearer to the school to check, because since there are so many challenges that go silent there among the children, that the PTA and the board need to see. Because outside you will see that kind of challenge that you talked about. Again, I also noticed that in part of your presentation you mentioned somewhere that there are 2 brains, you and Professor, 2 good brains. Mrs. Kanyeihamba, did you go to Baranyana? I mean, Katikaya, did you go to Baranyana? Yes. Now, Madam Mishega used to give us an example of a self-praise that you should use. Mishega used to give us an example that there was a girl who said that once upon a time, Baranyana had very beautiful girls. Then they asked her, how about these days? These days, there's only me, Betty, and I said, no, I mean, Mishega said, no, you don't count yourself. Let others count you, but the notice the master said there were 2 brains, him and I also noticed the respect in your book for the old age, because you say that Kanyeihamba worked hard at 80 years. It's true, you have that great respect, and that's why you get to me and me. I keep telling the young, you know, there are some young people who think it is an insult to say you are old. They think he has insulted you by saying, you old man or old woman. Then I'm like, come on, if you told me that, what have I passed to reach here? Will you? I have passed here. In my case, I've dodged bullets. I've dodged motor accidents. I've dodged malaria. I've dodged plane crashes. I've even dodged HIV. And you're saying I am old. Will you dodge those things? First dodge them, reach where I am, and say it is an insult. Okay. And maybe this now makes me mention what my land friend was saying. We were in no school together, but I'm older. Why? Because by some historical accident, I was involved in the liberation struggle with NRA, with Museveni. Therefore, in 1986, when we captured power, I was one of the Kadogo project, the child soldiers started back to school. And the primary school was in Makenge, in Ubarara. And that is why I ended up in military school. By the time I finished military school, CS6, I was a full lieutenant. And I left Makenge University Law School as a captain. So I had dead years, and that's why when I met them, I had many dead years, and therefore I was older. But we were there. Now, on the question of why I've remained a major, you know, Council, I am one of those who have been advocating